Jermaine. How are you?
I'm good, Ashley. How you doing?
Good. I love your look.
Oh,
I
I
love,
appreciate that.
yeah, the hair, the look is at some point. I
I
just,
like. Wait. Let me compliment you. I love the backdrop. I love the earrings. I love the dress. It's such a throwback in a very good way. It reminds me of the '90s, the '80s. Like, remember those? Like, okay, all right.
yeah. Thank you so much. I appreciate it. I
You're
appreciate it.
welcome, babe. You're
And we're
welcome.
coordinated because I see you have a little blue going there too. But Jermaine, first of all, I just have to say congratulations. You killed it in this movie.
Thank
Job well done. You
Thank
did
you.
your thing, and I have to give you your flowers now. From Hadsfield to Zamunda, you're you're here.
Yeah.
You have arrived. I feel. As someone who has followed and been inspired by Eddie Murphy's work, I can't imagine how this must feel. You have talked about several times how his Raw show, his Eddie Murphy's Raw, inspired you to even want to do stand up and become an actor. Have you had a moment to like take this all in, let this marinate, and if so, what what thoughts have come to mind for you in all of this?
um, it's a fact. Eddie Murphy Raw is the reason why I wanted to do stand up, but also Eddie Murphy is the reason why I wanted to become an actor. So to be a part of this event, this movie, like it makes me cry. It makes me cry. I can't lie. When I think about it, I get sad. In a good way. Like I get happy. Like and then I start to cry and I get like really like I just get emotional. I just get really emotional. Because I think about where I come from, Hyattsville. And you ain't supposed to make it out of there. You work at the mall till you die, or you get a government job, have kids, and that's it. That's just it. So that's where I'm from, and so I I want I want people to see this movie if you're from an area like that and be inspired. Like, follow your dreams. People told me what I wanted to do was dumb. People
Mm,
projected so much on me and I never cared. Like I never really listened to them as much as it hurt. Never listened to them because now they're in my DMs congratulating me. So boom. And I just never forgot what the goal was. I never deterred away from the path. There are times I made mistakes. There are times I messed up. There are times where I'm human, but I never ever stop moving forward ever. And there are people behind me who were along in that journey. My mom and my homie Kevin, who are not here today. So
yeah.
I think about them and I think about where I am today, and I get really emotional and I get happy and I'm proud of myself. I become very proud of myself, and I think we should start telling each other and ourselves, that I am proud of myself, and it's okay to do that as artists. So thank you, I appreciate that.
We're proud of you. I'm proud of you. We are rooting for you. You deserve your flowers and your things, as I stated. I have to ask you, given everything and this full circle moment of working with Eddie, when you get the call for this film, the audition rather, when you get the call for this audition, are you initially going into audition for Lavelle, the character that you play, or are you going in for another role? Talk to us a little bit about that process.
Oh, it's funny you say that. I know a lot of times when folks do an audition for a big movie,
Mhm.
it's they get a dummy script or a
Yes.
dummy sides where like they tell you to read these sides from Raging Bull or like something stupid. It's like this is the and so they actually gave me the sides to Lavelle,
Wow.
and yeah, and I as an actor and producer, I'm on the other side of the camera. I know audition auditions can be long and kind of daunting for the
Mhm,
producers and the
mhm.
director. So I kind of want to kind of switch things up and make the sides my own.
Right.
And I got them, and I just sort of just scratched a lot of things out, added some things in, and I went in, saw Craig Brewer, and we had a long ass conversation about barbecue.
Yes.
It's a fact. I'm not joking. Like it was a long conversation and a good conversation. And we had a good time, man. But I forgot about the audition, and we both did. And I almost left before he was like, "Oh wait, we gotta do the audition. Come back." And I came back. I did the audition, and I knew it went well. but I didn't
Mhm.
think I'd get it. So I was like, well, if I don't get this, I know me and Craig are gonna do something in the future. I just
Right.
I just love him so much. He's just a great dude. And so I get a call back, and I was very like, okay, I'll do the call back. And like they gave me two sides to do, and did the same thing I did with the first audition, kind of scratched everything out, made it my own. And then I go in, and Craig tells me, hey, don't think of this as an audition. Think of it as a workshop.
Mhm.
And I went, sure. And did the workshop. And after my
Mhm.
audition, Craig told me what he said. He said, Jermaine, I want to thank you. It's very seldom that an actor gives you everything you want on the first take. And I, I was very flattered, but I didn't want to ruin the moment. So I was like, okay, thanks. And I took the lavalier off and bounced and cried again. Like I just cried. I was just like, thanks, man. 15 years of doing this, man. And up until that point, like it's just beautiful to hear that Craig Brewer, you know what I'm saying?
Right.
Like my audition. And again, I didn't know if I'd get it at that time, but Boots Riley kind of broke the news to me on a phone call that day. And he wasn't supposed to. Yeah, Boots, that's Boots, man. And yeah, hey Jermaine, I heard you got some good news coming your way. I was like, how do you know? He goes, I'm at the All Black Film Festival in Miami. And I'm like, oh, okay, okay.
Spilling a little tea. But
Yeah, man.
good tea though, good tea.
Yeah, it was good to man. So it was just it was an awesome process, but a process I'm kind of used to. I'm
Mhm.
used to callbacks and auditions and like that whole. But this is the first time I kind of booked my first major movie. My first movie was Sorry to Bother You, and then Buffaloed, and did some small roles in some other films. But this is the biggest thing in my career that I've ever done. It's a
And
huge.
you nail it. And the
Thank you.
biggest thing you've ever done. Talk to us a little bit about the film. What will diehard fans love about your character?
Oh, dude. My appreciation of the original, everyone has appreciation. Like we
Mhm.
all have an appreciation for the original, and I think you start there. You always start there. You respect the fans, and you respect the film. So we
Right.
started there. I believe when you do a sequel, one of the best ways to do it right is to embrace growth.
Mhm.
Embrace growth.
Mhm.
And Akeem has grown. He's not a bachelor anymore. He's not looking for the right queen. He is looking um, he's trying to find an heir to a throne that but this uncertainty is Eddie plays the uncertainty so well in this movie. He's juggling so many things, so many feelings, from his daughters to his wife and his queen and and General Izzy, like all these things that he's juggling, like that he's holding in, that we all hold in as men. I think he did so well. He portrayed that role so well. He internalizes so much, and there's so much pressure with him. I
Mhm.
think I think did a great job with that. I believe there was growth with Lisa
Yes.
and her connection with her daughters, and how she believes that. I don't want to give too much away. She believes that there were promises that were made to this kingdom that weren't executed.
Mhm.
On a lot of generational like that weren't met,
Right.
and she feels like it's time for a change. And I
Mhm.
feel like we're in an age right now where people want change, and we
Yep.
need change. We need progress. We need growth on a lot of levels.
Right.
And I think people are going to connect to that. I want people to connect with that. I would love that as a man. I want to see growth, and
Mhm.
so I think people are going to appreciate that. I think any young person who's kind of gone through a crisis in their life in regards to what their purpose
Mhm.
is going to appreciate Lavelle's character. I
Right.
think right now, because of the lockdown, we're all kind of questioning our purpose. People have
Mm.
lost their jobs. People have had kids in lockdown and can't work, and people have questioned a lot of that, what their purpose is in life. And Lavelle questions what his purpose is until he meets his long lost pop, and his dad tells him that he's meant to be the heir to Zamunda. And the issue with that is he doesn't take it seriously as he should, and he
Mhm.
thinks of this as a vacation. There are responsibilities that we all need to know and accept and embrace. And
Mhm.
Lavelle has to learn that through his circle, through his family, his
Mhm.
mom, his uncle, and Marimbe, the royal barber, and like once he starts to really buckle down and understand what his purpose is in life, he starts to finally embrace what he's meant to do.
Right.
But it isn't without a fight, an internal fight. I think all that stuff is important. So I think we all go through that stuff. I think
Yep.
people are kind of leaning towards a lot of these themes that this movie does just sort of portrays so well.
Right. Right. Definitely. I think old and new fans are gonna gravitate to it. It has a really good message to it.
I think so.
Before you go, Jermaine, I want to talk a little bit about you spoke about your mom and Kevin, which I can imagine how proud they must be of you, right, with everything that's going on. And I know you've really been open about, going through that struggle and how you were able to, kind of pull yourself out of it, right?
Yeah.
I want to ask you, what advice would you give to someone watching this that's on the verge? They've experienced loss and they're on the verge of giving up or they've given up. What
Yeah.
advice could you share with them?
Yeah. Hold on. God damn it. It's yeah. It's your feelings are valid.
Mm,
It's okay to cry.
mm,
It's okay to be angry. It's okay to punch a wall. Like you can do those things. You're supposed to let those emotions flow through you. Don't run away from them. Don't lean on substance or drugs or alcohol or sex to run away from those things. I have,
mm,
and it's okay to because when you do, you start grieving the wrong way, and
mm,
you start leaning on the wrong thing. And the one thing you should be leaning on is support from people who you've either neglected or people who are right under your nose. I had to start to appreciate the people who are right under my nose. My family from Maryland, and my siblings and my pop, the people who are here with us. We only get one life, and
right,
you got to start understanding one that sometimes the right people who are in your life are the people you usually kind of dismiss. You know,
mm,
um, there's so many talented, wonderful people in my life that I didn't realize were there till they left. And
right,
I would say it's okay to talk about them. It's okay to talk to them. People leave, and unfortunately, death brings people together all the
mm,
time. And you shouldn't wait for people to die to do that ever. Don't ever do that. People are here right now. You never know what tomorrow brings. You never know what today brings.
right,
So I would say, as painful as life can be, there's so much joy and like happiness that it can bring you too. There's so
right.
much love that it can bring you. And when you start to embrace that, the easier the shit life can bring you. It can just it can be easier if you allow it to be easier.
That's so good. Thank you, Jermaine.
Well,
Again,